this time. Three time is really a charm. So, hello, NOSA community, and welcome back. It's Shamika, and today is Social Media Saturday. So, I'm coming in today to talk with you guys about your own social media, but really about how you can improve and work with your social media so that it makes sense for your business. Or for those of you guys who haven't quite started, give you a chance to get started in an easy way so that you can have a presence. So, as I've talked on other videos about social media, it really impacts the way that you can run your business and your level of exposure. So, a lot of times when we think about healthcare staffing and how it was done in years past, social media wasn't a big part of that. But I have to say, over the last 2 years, like during the pandemic, social media took off. And that's really the main way most people hear about jobs, apply to jobs, hear about companies. And that's why I impress upon so many nurses, especially in the early stages, to go ahead and set it up because it'll be a great pathway for people to not only learn more about your business, but also an opportunity to access clients so clients can more easily hear about you. So today's topic in the social media Saturday sessions in July is going to be about TikTok. And TikTok happens to be one of the most enjoyable platforms for myself at this time, just because I think it kind of combines a little bit of what we see in YouTube with Instagram and these short video clips. I think the most time you can spend talking on TikTok is about 3 minutes. And for some people, that's as much of an attention span that they have. So I will say TikTok has introduced some of their different features that you see on the other platforms where you can go live. Um, you can do stories. So those are some of the similar things we also see in Facebook and Instagram. Um, the other piece is, before I start talking about TikTok and kind of how you can use it as an agency owner, is that Facebook or Metaverse and Instagram have a Metaverse creator or Facebook creator is usually what I call it. And that really allows you to schedule posts, put your posts out there, and also see how far of a reach it has, the impressions, the level of engagement, which really tells you something similar to what we see with email campaigns is, hey, am I doing it right? Am I hitting the audience? Am I able to get engagement, meaning that people like or respond or heart or send you a message, kind of like that next step if your post is about a call to action or kind of informational where you're adding in a link. So when you think about that stuff, you really want to think about like the ultimate goal, the ultimate outcome from doing it, and how you want it to impact your business. So my own social media journey with our agency started way before the agency. So I've been on social media for some time. It wasn't until probably 2018 that I actually created the Instagram piece. And that really kind of created a different level of exposure for our agency. So I encourage people, hey, if you're not that social media savvy, the best way to start is Facebook and Instagram, and then venture onto the other platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and things of that nature. So definitely consider those. Next, I would go into even like Twitch or Patreon and things of those nature, which just gives people a little bit more about your business if that's the direction you want to take it. So there's so many ways to go. So I tell people work with the top 5 that we've talked about and then kind of venture off from there. So let's talk about TikTok. Um, TikTok for me has really been valuable. And one of the things that I've seen on the TikTok platform is the growth of nurse influencers or everyday nurses sharing information about agencies. And the reason I mention nurse influencers is because some of them are compensated for talking about agency A's openings, but many times they're doing what we've seen on Facebook and a lot of your Facebook groups where they're just sharing posts. They're just sharing, hey, this agency has, needs ASAP, you know, for 4 weeks, med surge, step down, this is the pay, and that's what we see in the Facebook groups a lot of times, people sharing. And it's not necessarily sharing from a recruiter, and there's definitely an element of that, and I'll talk about how you can use that piece. But just from everyday nurses, I think probably at least over 80% of the applicants that we received early on as an agency owner were through referrals. And I think that's the case for most NOSAs, is that you're getting a lot of your applicants through referrals. So that's kind of how the industry connects with each other. So if I had a friend at the time that was looking to travel or looking to work at a specific place and I heard about it, I just tell her about it. And that's where you see a lot of the different types of employee bonus programs that are kind of rolling out, in addition to the social media, because the exposure is getting out there about these different businesses a lot easier. And it's really changing and redefining the roles of what we see as your traditional recruiters and what they bring to the table. So this is an example. TikTok, just like all the other platforms, have an opportunity for you to record videos, kind of list things, talk about different topics, do 60-minute videos or 60-second, videos, 30-second videos. And then I think it's 1 or 3 minutes is the longest you can do. And then for most people, they pick a topic. So I encourage people to stick to the topic. So some people create social media for fun, right? And then others may have it as a part of their business. So if I was I'm going to use real estate because that's one of the followers I have. If I was a real estate business owner and I wanted to share in my community about different things that are going on in real estate, I may go in and talk about, hey, what's going on in the market and how it might affect you. I may discuss interest rates, the home buying process, and then break that down into a couple of different videos about, how to pre-qualify and, what it means to get a pre-approval letter, and then what does the closing process look like. And that's kind of how those videos become, instead of just one video, it may be 10 to 15 videos over a period of time, educating people, informing people, but it's all kind of wrapping it back into you as a business owner. So as a agency, you can do the same thing. It's kind of, how do you apply with us as an agency? A little bit about us, where we're located, what types of staffing we do. And then, of course, the most important thing, which I would definitely encourage people to do, and I see it quite a bit, is talk about your jobs, talk about what you have, talk about the same information you would put into a Facebook group post, include it on your TikTok. And I tell people follow a similar script, because just like with the algorithm on Instagram, people see your information based on the script that you use, in addition to if they follow you, and then kind of go from there. The next thing I would talk the next thing I would consider, sorry about that, is the next thing I would consider is about or around what other influencers are doing. So on TikTok, one of the nice things is they have a lot of great templates. So you really don't have to spend a lot of time creating anything versus kind of coming up, hey, with, hey, these are the things that I want to cover. So I want to cover, about the recruitment process or the application process, or how do we pay our employees, if you pay your employees weekly, or if you pay them on a same day pay process. So those are different things, and those would all be different, quote unquote, TikToks that you can do. I encourage people to talk a little bit about their company and background and what makes your organization different, because people want to kind of know the difference between working with you or working with someone else. And then there's always a great avenue to consider, which is work with nurse, CNA, or healthcare influencers. So those are typically the people who already have a presence in the community, have thousands of followers, get hundreds of likes, and working with them, or if they've worked for your agency, because some people might be surprised that sometimes they've already worked for your agency. Is this something they do on the side? Is to connect, collaborate, or partner with them on one of your jobs. And what that does is it really gives your agency exposure to the audience that you wanted to go to. So if, like, I was a CNA influencer, or if I was a nurse influencer on TikTok, more than likely the people that follow me are that too. And they could be travel nurses or travel CNAs or travel LPNs, depending on who their target market is. And when you put up a post, those people will see it instantly. They'll typically not only like the post, but they'll also engage with the post, which is something that you want. So, as agency owners, I don't necessarily think that you should only do like collaborations, is what they refer to it as. But I think you should consider um, it as a marketing tool. And that kind of touches on what I had mentioned about the fact that a lot of times the role that we see our typical recruiter operate in is looking a little bit different than in years past. You know, the process of kind of going out there into the market and identifying individuals that may be interested, a lot of that is easily being done via social media. We may also see sometimes individuals connect with certain people online, and then that's kind of how they establish the relationship. So, one of the things I would take into consideration with working recruiters, especially if you're newer into the industry, is kind of what they want to do, and that if they don't have a strong social media um, understanding, that may not be the best fit for future applicants. And a lot of that is based on, hey, future applicants are on these platforms, the CNA that's going to nursing school or the nurse that's about to become a nurse practitioner. They're on these platforms, as your agency ages, your population in the workforce ages, and they're also on this platform. I think the demographic for TikTok is 16 to 23 or 18 to 23. And then it kind of, as you go to from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, it gets a little bit older. Um, and to already have a presence on these platforms as other pieces of social media may go away is helpful to you so that you're not kind of spending your time, oh, well, if for some reason they got rid of Facebook in the way or metaverse in the way that we see it, you're not kind of stuck because you put all your eggs in that basket and only focused on operating in that space through Facebook groups and things of that nature. Some other things to consider is that you can, just like with Facebook, like I said, some of the features are similar. You can go live with other um, agency owners, so you can go live with other people that are also on um, TikTok. So, for instance, I mentioned not too long ago about doing the virtual job fair. That's a big thing on Facebook. I mean, on TikTok, and I've seen it a couple times on Facebook, but it's a big thing on TikTok where people are just kind of going, talking about jobs, and then you kind of have a moderator. So it's a whole setup, but it's something that if you do on a consistent basis, once or twice a week for an hour, you get tons of applicants and potentials. And that would alleviate the maybe 15 to 20 hours that you may pay a recruiter to, go out there and do job posts or go out there and look for potential candidates. The last thing that I would include is that I've found, because I have done TikToks. If you don't follow me, drop your TikTok below. But of course, my TikTok is TheNosagRP. So that's my TikTok. My TikTok is more fun, but I do have a couple of business things on it. And drop yours as well. But the other thing is that I find it easier to edit through TikToks because you can redo them as you need to and kind of get a replay of them a little bit easier than like Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives and stuff like that. So I enjoy that piece of it because sometimes, just like with this YouTube Live today, you have to repeat the process because you made a mistake or your lighting, which was an issue for me today, wasn't that great. So I do appreciate the ability to go onto a TikTok platform and make a mistake, edit it, re-record, make a mistake, edit it, re-record, and it not take me a lot of time. And if you have any question, guys, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let's see. And then the last part is do it now. Don't wait another couple of days. If you have a free weekend this weekend, go ahead and do your social media setup. If you're set up, send us a TikTok. Check us out on our TikTok page. Follow us. I follow quite a few nurses and other healthcare types. And then I also follow people for other things. Like there's a great thing around clean TikTok. Like if you're a person that wants to, kind of minimize the amount of time you spend cleaning. There's a whole organized TikTok, makeover TikTok. So there's other pieces of the platform that you can use in your everyday life. Office, there's definitely a lot of big financial, you know, um, financially driven TikTok influencers. Look, I'm trying to get all the names right, guys. See, that's how new I am to it. And influencers out there. So there's a lot of those if you're looking for like banking options. And like I said, you're more than happy to follow the people that I follow. There are certain people that I follow that I think give solid, good content. And just some things to remember around that is that they're people. So even when I get the information from them, I always do research again just to make sure it is what it is. Not everything is accurate. It's still social media. So that's something to be mindful of. And on the final tip of that is if you're going to get on any of the social media platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, what have you, make sure that you're consistent with it and that either you or you have someone that checks it. Because you'd be surprised about the number of messages that you may miss or the engagement or questions or stuff like that, especially when you do your lives that you want to make sure that you follow up on because you want people to want to come back if you say you're going to do something, like if you're going to do like a live every Thursday, or if you're going to do a post every Wednesday, you want to make sure that you follow up. And it gives notifications similar to the other platforms that you do have messages. Um, from what I know, and if you're on there, you guys can definitely clarify. TikTok does require that you have 1,000 followers to start doing lives. I don't just yet, um, but we are working with um, a healthcare influencer to potentially get me onto a live with her. And I think, I'm not sure the number, but you can have up to 2 or 3 other people. So as we go through that, we'll figure it out and make it make sense. So hopefully, this will give you the push you may have needed to get onto the platform. They do have a business side. So like once you get a personal one, you can open up a business one. So that's usually how it works with Facebook and Instagram. Once you set up a personal page, you can open up the business one. So it operates very similarly. And I encourage you guys to get on there. We're working on kind of revamping, not so much my personal TikTok, but the business one to do some of the stuff that we've done on the other platforms in a more fun, social, engaging way. And hopefully by that point or at some point, we'll also have a few more followers. I think we're at about 300 or 500, something like that, followers at this time. But like I said, my page, my personal one is more for fun. So it's not necessarily as business driven, but I do follow other nurses who are out there on those platforms as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. As well, jump back in next Saturday. We're going to do Instagram this time, and we're also going to do Twitter at the end of the month. So definitely jump back in. Again, it's going to be Facebook. We're going to be talking about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter throughout the conversation. But of course, the main topic will be about Instagram and Twitter. I picked Twitter for the last one because that's the one I have the most challenges with, but it's definitely worth having a discussion about. I am on there, but really coming up with a plan for that particular platform. So if you have any more suggestions or if you want to share your social media pages and things of that nature, feel free, drop it below, and we'll definitely give you a follow. So thanks for hanging out with me this Saturday, and I'll be chatting with you.